Mental health and wellness. Promoting mental health. What you can do. All over the world, people are reluctant to talk about mental health. Something that every culture and population that we know of has in common is reluctance to deal with mental health openly. This seems to be a human thing rather than cultural. The mind is too personal, too central to one's identity for people to admit that they are having problems, for fear of not being seen as a whole functioning person. It's worse for those with mental illness, as they suffer severe and universal discrimination and stigma. And in many countries, there are even laws that limit their rights. So they hide their problems and don't seek help. This makes it seem as if the numbers of people with mental illness are low, but this is not true. You likely know people who have mental health issues, whether you're aware of this or not. The stigma surrounding mental health problems is supported by a number of common misperceptions that create barriers to effective action. Here is a brief list of the more common and harmful of these misguided beliefs. If someone has a mental illness, other family members are likely to also become mentally ill. Mental health problems mainly affect the weak or those with character flaws. People with mental health problems cannot be as productive as others, can't hold jobs, cannot be trusted, cannot form normal relationships, or cannot be good parents or partners. They tend to be more violent than the rest of the population. For most mental illnesses, treatment is difficult, not very effective, and requires expensive, long-term professional care. Most people, particularly in low and middle-income countries, don't consider mental health as an important issue. Most people can get access to treatment if they really need it. Most people share many of these beliefs. Some believe them all. It's important to realize that every one of these is wrong. We noted above that you likely already know people with mental illness. They may be struggling without treatment, but they're hiding their problems and managing to have relationships and hold down jobs. And they're not violent or untrustworthy. But it's not easy, and some may eventually lose their battle against the illness. We want to make all our lives better, and we can do this by looking for opportunities to advocate for better mental health. You, as young leaders, can seek out opportunities to advocate for mental health. You can do this by being sensitive to mental health symptoms, informing others of misperceptions and helping correct them, by not being afraid to talk about mental health. Bring it up and ask people if they're okay. If you have had some mental health challenges, it's great to say things like, "I had some mental health problems, and talking about it really helped." This can help normalize the topic of mental health. Advocating for changing laws that discriminate against those with mental illness. These include laws that limit those with mental illness to be employed, their ability to marry, or to vote, and that allow the mentally ill to be locked away in hospitals when this is only rarely needed. You can also advocate for positive laws that explicitly uphold their rights, including laws preventing employers from discriminating against workers or applicants, and laws that require confidential access to treatment. Advocating for psychosocial services for everyone. Those services would provide advice, skills, and environmental improvements to help us all cope better with life's challenges. Encouraging everyone to be more open about their mental health and their needs. One of the more positive findings from recent years is that youth around the world are increasingly more willing to talk about mental health than their parents. We need to encourage and support this. You could become a counselor or treatment provider. One of the myths that has been a barrier to providing treatment is that providers need to be mental health professionals, like psychiatrists or clinical psychologists. Dozens of studies and programs over the last 3 decades in every global region have conclusively demonstrated that local people with no more than a middle or primary school education can learn to provide mental health treatments accurately and effectively if trained correctly, an idea often called task shifting or task sharing. If you are so inclined, you can learn to be a psychosocial support provider or a treatment counselor. Knowledge check. What can you do as young leaders to help promote mental health awareness? People are often reluctant to discuss mental health due to fear of being seen as flawed, leading to stigma and hiding problems. Common harmful beliefs include that mental illness affects family members, indicates weakness, reduces productivity, and leads to violence. These beliefs are false and create barriers to effective action. Young leaders can advocate for mental health by recognizing symptoms, correcting misperceptions, normalizing discussions advocating for legal changes, and becoming trained counselors or support providers. Encouraging openness and providing psychosocial services can improve overall mental health for individuals and for communities. We hope this course has provided you with valuable insights into mental health and its importance. Remember that maintaining good mental health is crucial for your overall well-being and productivity. To reinforce your understanding and demonstrate your commitment, take the quiz and earn your certificate. This will not only validate your knowledge, but also empower you to support others in their mental health journey.